Hello and welcome one and all, I am Old School Gamer 1971, a special shout out to Moomin and Pro Predator 49XX. Hope you're all having a great day and are staying safe. Today's subject matter is Old School Opinion, March 2021. Before we begin, if you enjoy the video, give it a big thumbs up, like, and if it pleases you, check out my channel and subscribe. So without further ado, on Voice of the Little Game this month, I have 5 games to show you and 2, count them, 2 brand spanking new platinums. So let's start with Ultratron. It was an arcade shooter developed by Puppy Games that released for the PlayStation 4 in 2015. Do you remember the game Robotron? Well, this game is paying homage to Robotron, one of the first twin stick shooters, and influencing later games such as Smash TV for the Amiga and pretty much everything else, and Loaded for the original PlayStation. This is a hectic game and certainly brings quite a few new power-ups to the proceedings, well, more than Robotron anyway. A game I put on every now and again to try for a brand new high score. Citizens of Earth is an RPG developed by Eden Industries that released for the PlayStation 4 in 2015. It is a turn-based indie RPG with a comedic approach. While simplistic, it is highly enjoyable, and being able to enlist citizens to your party, there is much fun to be had. Also, the game is fully voiced over, but I would suggest that a teen to adult will get more out of this game. It is a shame that I put off purchasing this game for as long as I did. I will get the third game at some point. While this will not be everyone's cup of tea, I do think the game does have a market. Next up we have Demon's Crystals. It's an arcade shooter developed by Badlands that released for the PlayStation 4 in 2017. More twin stick shooter goodness on show here. It even has couch player versus player, no co-op. Whilst nothing new, there is plenty for you here. I'm always happy to get games like this. No, they are not worth a full-on price, nor even budget range, but $4.99 is a sweet price, and long may they continue with the PlayStation 5. Anyway, whilst in capture for this game, I was literally grinning from ear to ear. Citizens of Space was an RPG developed by Sega that released for the PlayStation 4 in 2019. Yes, it is a sequel to Citizens of Earth. It is a turn-based comedy RPG with some new shiny mechanics. This does improve on the original in almost every way. Again, more of a game for adults. The game is again fully voiced over, which is unusual for an indie RPG. Do not get me wrong, it is not perfect, but if you like the turn-based combat, the game could be for you. There is random battles, the original doesn't have these. I don't mind random battles, it allows you to grind up those levels. I like these shorter games sometimes, everything does not need to be an epic. Next up we have Saviour's Gang. It's a puzzle-ish game developed by Katniss Game Studios that came to the PlayStation 4 in 2020. This is a very tongue-in-cheek puzzle game. You are supposed to be the Way and lead your followers blindly through deadly obstacles, except in my game where it is more of how can I get them all killed. This game is a lot of fun. The levels are designed for maximum carnage. It is almost Lemmings in reverse, not to be taken serious in the slightest. It is nice to see something different, and boy, this is very different.
Yeah!
Hey, look out!
The first of 2 platinums this month is Cat Quest 2. It's an RPG developed by the Gentle Bros that came to the PlayStation 4 in 2019. I love the first game, and this is better in every way. It is an indie action RPG where you can play as a cat/dog. The story is what you have come to expect. Where this one shines is the couch co-op. This is a game that does not overstay its welcome, and the best bit is that I know a sequel will be incoming at some point, and that is a good thing. Kid friendly and certainly fun for adults too. Get it and the game may just surprise you. And finally, Costume Kingdom was an RPG developed by Stratton Studios that came to the PlayStation 4 in 2020. Feeling and looking like a spiritual successor to Costume Quest, this is a great game for the Halloween season. A family friendly game that will not take you too long, yet at the same time has enough meat on the bones for you to feel a sense of accomplishment. Collecting costumes for you to use in battle, as well as to traverse the map, a fun title that could be done in a couple of gaming sessions. A great way to introduce somebody onto the RPG genre. Newsworthy this month has 4 stories, the first one of which is the purchase of Gearbox. Software giant behind the popular Borderlands series and the not so popular Aliens Colonial Marines has been purchased by the Swedish based Embracer Group for a whopping $1.3 billion. At first I was a little worried, then had a bit of a gooser. They also have THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive and Deep Silver in the group, so it's pretty much all good there. Our next gripe is microtransactions in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think by now we're finally starting to accept microtransactions to a degree. Keep them cosmetic and I feel that most people are happy-ish. Except these are not cosmetic, more of the pay to win kind. I've accepted that this will one day be the norm, but if you're going to put microtransactions into games, then do not charge full price, and certainly do not take the piss by having a season pass as well. The gold edition was supposed to give you value, this does not feel that way right now. And finally, they said E3 is returning as a 3-day streamed event. This is good news to see it back taking place between the 15th to the 17th, with a sort of premiere evening on the 14th. I will class it as a 4-day event really. With no confirmation, this has led others to speculate that again the show will be cancelled. Several developers including Sony, EA and Ubisoft have opted to forego the event in recent years, instead staging their own events around that time and location. Jeff Keighley, who quit last year's event due to a disagreement over direction, will be holding another Summer Game Fest after its success last year. Personally, there's enough room and enough new games to be revealed for them both to exist. Oh, and breaking news. Japan Studio is closing down. With a back catalogue of titles such as the Siren series, Ico, Shadow of Colossus, Last Guardian and the Knack series, they have concentrated on helping other developers for the last couple of years, including on the recently released Demon Souls. The staff will be relocated to other studios. I am kinda sorry to see this one go, being honest. Round the campfire. Was it the right time to release the PlayStation 5, or should they have waited? I have seen this question cropping up quite a bit recently, especially with the console shortages / lack of new games for the new consoles. And whilst I can understand people's frustration, I will say that the lack of games happens every new generation. Not every developer can afford to develop for such a small install base, and the larger developers will not always be willing to risk a release. This is where backwards compatibility helps, so we can use those latest releases that we didn't have time to finish, or something from 7 years ago that we never finished, on our latest consoles. And in nearly all cases, the game is improved on PlayStation 5. You only need to play a new generation console to answer whether or not the console should have been released. Yes, scalpers have been a royal pain in the ass, but eventually they will sit on the shelf. If you want a PlayStation 5, my advice is to look online to see when it is coming back into stock. Check every day, and on that day check every hour. I know it's a pain, but you will get one. And also round the campfire this month, some of the PlayStation 5 games are getting postponed. And here is why, in my opinion. A couple of reasons why. Price and overflooding the market. Let's start with price. I myself am looking forward to so many games. Returnal, Ratchet & Clank, God of War Ragnarok, Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop and Horizon Forbidden West. That is just the exclusives. Oh, I forgot, and Stray. Spread them out and the sales figures will be better. Which brings us nicely to the second point. Overflooding the market. Clump them together and you risk people only purchasing some of them. Most people have limited funds. I am happy with an exclusive every 3 months. You can then promote the next big thing without it feeling so cluttered. After the big mess that Cyberpunk 2077 became, I hope people realise that sometimes a game just needs more time. Yet another round the campfire this month. Pretty much out of nowhere we got an announcement of the first state of play for 2021. And I kinda feel bad for Sony. They had a solid showing of games, releasing pretty much up until August. Not only just that, but Soulstorm, the follow-up to the Abe's Odyssey and Exodus games from yesteryear, is also going to be a freebie for PlayStation Plus. Dates for those releases, generating interest for games such as Returnal, a day one for me already, and finishing strong with the premiere of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which has an extra chapter with Yuffie in and all the McGubbins you have come to expect for a PlayStation 5 release. But wait, the update is free if you purchased the game last year, but doesn't extend to those who will be getting it for free with PlayStation Plus. And people are complaining there's nothing about Metal Gear, Silent Hill or the like. The same people who complained when Sony had that amazing year at E3 2015. Final Fantasy VII Remake finally released in 2020, Horizon Zero Dawn released in 2017, and Shenmue 3 released in 2019. They'd shown off games that would not see the light of day for 2+ years in some cases. They complained about that too. To me, I want a game to release when ready, like Demon's Souls remastered, and not a mess like Cyberpunk 2077. The latest game from State of Play will release in August. And I am sure before August there will be another State of Play with the second half of the year's releases. Be patient and I am sure those games will come. You know it makes sense. Tally ho, and how goes the hunt with you? This month, as I said earlier, I got myself 2 platinums, as in Cat Quest 2 and Costume Kingdom. I've been mostly playing Farm Together and Watch Dogs Legion, more on Farm Together this month. That trophy count then, level 473, a total of 9,405 trophies, heading to that 10k, 110 platinum, 676 gold, 1,710 silver and 6,909 bronze. Happy hunting, tro-hos! And it is done. If you found this video interesting or have any suggestions, please comment down below, as it will put a big old smile on this old face. Let's get the conversation started, I will answer you all. I post new content every week. Have a great day one and all, and thank you for your support. This has been Old School Gamer 1971, signing off.